unless you don't want it. Me? I just do it from over there. You wanna? Okay. When you're done, though, can you come and give it to me? Okay, because Kathy is right after you. She has another part, another piece. Yes. This is the old one. Okay.
That's cool.
I thought I saw it perhaps. Probably. No, no, no. I think it was this. But it was the back of your head. Yeah, it was the back of my head.
Be careful. Yeah, because this is just a double touch. Yeah, this is the top. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's because they more. Right?
Oh, look at how cute the bags are tonight. You didn't see me do that, did you?
I will be the student for the season. I have her. She has class time.
Oh, everybody's got it. Is that our newest student?
That is, that's a.
A 2012 year was this.
in English. Tonight playing the part of Terrence Williams.
I know Terrence Williams and you're no Terrence Williams.
Is this an 18?
I was waiting to give it a jam.
When I come up here, they turn this thing to see if I'm sitting in the right spot.
Who's the genius that put our names on the back? I'm trying to get you guys back from the back room.
Terrence, you have a report?
Yes, brief. Oh boy. You want to? Oh, gosh. Well, see, I'm not as articulate about.
All right, we're having way too much fun. You guys ready? Yes.
She's here somewhere. Charles will not join us.
We are going to convene, no, we're going to adjourn, thank you, the Board of Education study session. And we will convene the Board of Education open session at 7:05. This evening, we are going to be opening our meeting in honor of Mr. and Mrs. Charles Bobakan, who is our new technology director, and his wife Susan. We're welcoming to the world Christian Bobakan, who was born on October 3rd, and his picture is right there. This evening, we have our Pledge of Allegiance being led by two outstanding Mayflower Elementary School students, Walker Andrews and Wesley Peterson. And gentlemen, if you'll please come to the podium. And will you all please rise?
Hi, my name is Walker Andrews. I'm a 5th grade student at Mayflower School. What I like most about Mayflower is the MacBooks and the coding programs we do on them.
Hi, my name is Wesley Peterson. I'm a 5th grade student at Mayflower Elementary School 2. What I like best about Mayflower is the events that they hold and the staff there. Thank you for having us tonight. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming this evening. Thank you to your parents for bringing you. You do not have to stay for the whole meeting. I'm sure you have other things that you need to get done this evening. But it's a real pleasure having you here tonight. Nice getting a chance to meet you. And we like that you like coding a lot. We'll have a visual roll call. Everybody's in their place with a bright, smiley face. Mr. Rich is here. We just found out that we welcomed Christian to the world, and which is why our technology director is absent this evening with permission. We did not have a closed session this evening. We will hold the closed session after this meeting. We ran out of time in our study session. And then, so we will ask if there's a change of any of the order of business, except for item I-9, which will take place on H1. We will remove I-9 and take it in its place at H1. that's going to be Ms. Wu, who will have H1. Okay. No, just a minute. Thank you. We're just putting the agenda in order. We had a duplicate.
Okay.
Entertain a motion for the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Is any discussion? Let me please have a vote.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Abstain.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. 5-0, excuse me. 4-0, correct.
4-1.
4-1. Motion
Where's
carries
abstain?
He
4-1.
abstained. It's a 1. Oh, that's true. It's a 0. We'll get it right. It's kind of like playing dice.
Except for not as much fun.
Well, not as much fun. And you don't have to go to a meeting afterwards either.
Unless you used too much.
The Board of Education wishes to congratulate some very outstanding employees. And who are we having here tonight? I do not know. Oh, Dr. Jackson is here this evening to introduce to us and the community and to our audience some outstanding employees.
Thank you, Board President Hammond. Actually, I'm going to allow, Tom, you're here, yes. I'm going to allow Tom to have the honors because his member is actually here and present from the Village Program as one of the representatives of the Classified Employee of the Month.
Board, thank you for giving us this opportunity to recognize an amazing young man that we're fortunate enough to have working as a site manager at our program over at Santa Fe. Just to give you a little background on Mr. Tadis Ross. Tadis, after high school, served in the military. He's a Marine. I don't know if he was a Marine or still is a Marine. I don't know how that works, but he served our country in the Marines, that is for sure. And their family's completely vested in Monrovia Unified. The second row is their 4 boys, all of whom attend Monrovia schools from CELC to Brad Oaks to Santa Fe. The better half, Noel, is a volunteer over at Brad Oaks as well, so they are true Monrovians through and through. Tadis has done a lot of work inside and outside the program. He continues to work on his education. Currently, he's on track to get his master's degree in January, and he'll be continuing his education, working through his special education credential, where he hopes to work with a special subset of special education and emotionally disturbed youth. He's done an amazing job with our youth, both starting at Clifton and at Santa Fe. Just a little bit of a background for Tadis. It was not easy for Tadis to go through life. He could have chose a very different path, but we shared a story a couple of weeks ago that kind of puts it all together. Some of you may have heard the starfish story where there's a couple of people walking along the beach and there's all these thousands of starfish, and these 2 people walk along. One decides that they want to save all the starfish, so they dust them off and start throwing it back in the ocean to save the starfish. The other person's very doubtful and says, "You can't save all those starfish. What are you doing? You're wasting your time, and you're not going to make a difference." And the other person says, "Well, I'm going to make a difference to this one starfish." And again, he tosses it into the ocean. So we talked about that because at one point in his life, Tadis was the starfish, and he had somebody reach down to him to make a difference in his life. And so now he wants to continue that through his job with us and onwards in the classroom eventually. So we're very, very proud of the work that Tadis is doing. He is an excellent fit for older youth, middle school and high school. We're very fortunate to have him working in our program. So big round of applause for Mr. Tadis Ross. So Tadis, this is yours. Okay. And you're going to get some other stuff.
Do I get the pink one?
And Tadis, this is yours from the Monrovia Chamber.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
And then you stand up there so we can get pictures and embarrass you some more.
We have,
Good thing they had the CELC kid here.
we have two more recognitions. Although the employees are not here, we wanted to take a moment to be able to honor them. And in that case, I'm going to call to the podium Mr. Vince Marchetti, Director of MOT.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, our person employee of the month is Nick Melendez, and he injured himself at work today, working at Monrovia High School, and we had to send him to the doctor, and he's home resting now. So he'll be back shortly, as quick as he can. So, but with that, Nick came to the district, the MOT team, on September 21st of 2015, last year. Nick brought with him to Monrovia 15 years of experience in the plumbing and pipe fitting industry in both the private and public sectors. He received his training for plumbing from the Southern California Pipe Trades Apprentice Training Center. When Nick arrived at MUSD, he hit the ground running, no looking back, and he hasn't slowed down. He handles the plumbing needs of all of our sites, our customers, our students, our staff, with the utmost courtesy, respect, and professionalism. He gets in, gets it done. He's gone through the district to ensure that all our restrooms work properly, as well all our drinking fountains, so that the students can have the needs that they need. And if Nick comes across something that he doesn't have a work order for, or he just comes across it, he takes care of it. He doesn't wait for a work order or anything like that. He just takes care of it and moves on. So it's with great pleasure tonight to recognize Nick Melendez as our Employee of the Month for the MOT department.
Mr. Marcetti, will he be at Monrovia tomorrow?
No, sir. But if I can help you with something, please let me know.
I wanted to shake his hand if he was a part of the cleaning up the water fountains.
He got them all working, and the site custodial staff did the cleaning and sanitizing of them.
And I think this will make Nick feel better.
Okay,
I have 3 chocolate chip cookies in there.
Oh, they may not make it
And
to
let-
Nick. Nick doesn't know anything about those. Thank you.
Thanks, Vince. It's amazing how you just lose those cookies.
We have one last employee to honor, and that would be our very own district office, human resources employee, Mrs. Nancy French. She is unable to join us this evening as she is attending a counseling credential conference in Sacramento. So please indulge me just in a few words about Mrs. French. Nancy has worked here in the district for more than 25 years, and I've had the honor of working with her for the past 4 years. She's knowledgeable about the essential duties required of her position and is always seeking to remain current in the changes and trends, hence her attendance at the credentialing conference this week. She's team-oriented. She's always willing to assist with tasks that don't fall necessarily within her job description. She's a problem solver. If she doesn't have the answer, she possesses the skills to find the answers in supporting all of the district office processes. And I think for those of you guys who come in throughout the course of the week, you know, Nancy is a friendly individual, and a few other things that her colleagues have shared with her. She's always positive, and she's highly spirited. So with that said, congrats to Nancy, as these are just a few of the reasons that she was selected as a classified employee of the month for the district office.
Darby, don't be messing with those cookies, okay?
I won't.
There you go.
I will keep these in a safe place, because when she's at the conference, she actually finishes up and she's hoping that the Cubs win. So she's in her room. I know she is. So we'll hold on to these safely for her. Thank you.
And Pam, thank you so much for being here tonight, representing the chamber. Thanks very much. Up next, we have board member reports. Mr. Gilliland.
Just quickly wanted to give a big shout out to those folks with Monrovia Reads that coordinate the Read Across Monrovia. My privilege to go to Brad Oaks this year, and read to a first grade class. I got my drawings in the mail today from the first grade class I read to, of drawing from each of the students, and they gave me this Brad Oaks pen and made me promise I'd wear it to the board meeting tonight. But they're really special people over there, and a really special group that organizes that Read Across of Monrovia. If you haven't done that, next time it comes around, sign up for Read Across Monrovia and read a book to the kids in the class. It's really, really rewarding.
I agree. Thanks, Ed. Mr. Williams.
Well, I was going to ask Dr. Terosian to articulate for me with regards to the Foothill Consortium and almost Dr. Catherine Riel, but Dr. Terosian can share with regards to the efforts made by Santa Fe and Monrovia High School today.
I'd be happy to, Board Member Williams. Members of the board, this evening we had the opportunity to present some of our pathways and career technical education opportunities throughout the district at the City of Hope with Azusa Unified School District, Duarte Unified School District, and Charter Oak School District. Signature programs from each of these schools and school districts were presented in what's very similar to a fair, and we were able to highlight our robotics program at Santa Fe, our robotics program at the high school, and our information technology pathway that is emerging at Monrovia High School. We also had our automotive technology program present and able to share a great deal of information, as well as demonstrate the robots that we had and the opportunities that kids receive. So it was a wonderful event, and highlighting many of the opportunities that our kids participate in district-wide.
Up next, we have Dr. Terosian playing the part of student representative for our student report.
On behalf of Brenda Hernandez, from Monrovia High School, I would like to report that on October 21st, our football game against South Pasadena High School, during the halftime there, the Renaissance program will be recognizing scholar athletes. On the 22nd of October, Monrovia High School will be participating in Make a Difference Day with the City of Monrovia. Our Red Ribbon Week, You Only Live Once, Be Drug-Free, will be the week of October 24th. On October 28th, our football game against Temple City High School with a pre-game recognition of the senior football players. On November 2nd, our counselors will be hosting a Cash for College financial aid night for seniors at 6 p.m. in the library. They'll be able to explain how to apply for financial aid and walk us through the federal programs and their applications. I encourage every senior to attend. And then on November 3rd, Renaissance will be hosting a Monrovia's Got Talent show. Everyone is welcome. Ticket prices are $5 and will be sold at the door. Brenda, I'm sorry, you would have done a much better job.
And now representing the superintendent, Dr. Terosian.
If only Brenda were here to do that, too. We have, the first one I'd like to do is invite Principal Jen Gates from Clifton Middle School to present us with a little overview. We had the opportunity of walking through classrooms at Clifton, and I'd like to invite Ms. Jackson, Jennifer Jackson, to walk us through and tell us a little bit more about what we saw and give the audience an overview. But before we do that, okay. Yes, Clifton.
Good evening, Board of Education and District Administration. Thank you for allowing us tonight to be here to talk about all of the great things happening at Clifton. We feel that this slide up here sums up what's happening and all of the greatness at Clifton here. We are a new dual immersion Spanish school. We are the recipient of last year of the $100,000 STEM grant, which I'll be talking about momentarily. We are a 2015 honor roll school with the California Business for Education Excellence, and then also a 2014 California Distinguished School. So, to give you a little more information about who we are, here are our demographics. When we look at the top portion in terms of our subgroups, our largest subgroup on campus is the Hispanic subgroup, making up 53% of our population, and the white subgroup at 29% behind that. And you can see the other percentages up there with Filipino, Black, Asian, and American Indian. Our free and reduced lunch percentage is 41%. Our current number of students with disabilities on IEPs is 9%. Our English learners is 5% and decreasing because we're in the process of reclassifying. Our socially economically disadvantaged students make up 53% of our population, and our GATE identified students make up 32%. So in terms of our attendance, I'm not showing you a apples to apples comparison here, but I wanted to give you our overall attendance rate for last year, which was 95.69%. And we have placed a lot of emphasis this year on what we're going to do to address that percentage and move it in the right direction. And so we're off to a great start with an attendance rate currently at 98.06%. So we have a lot of things happening regarding education for parents and students and incentives to put together a comprehensive attendance improvement plan for our students. Our instructional focus is basically critical thinkers write with evidence. So these are the banners that you see around campus. We've simplified this for students in the form of emojis and shorter terminology like got evidence that is part of every single classroom in every single department on campus. When we looked at our 2015 and 2016 CASP data, our standardized testing, we grew this year in all areas of both ELA and math, with the exception of 6th grade math, and I'm going to show you a visual of that in just a moment. But we are very pleased to say that we are still above the state average in all 6 of our assessment areas, grades 6 through 8. This is our visual for 6th grade English. You can see we had a nice amount of growth between 2015 and 16. And again, the state averages are there, both years that are being, the arrow is pointing to. 7th grade English, again, a large amount of growth from one year to the next. 8th grade English, another jump in growth between one year to the next. In 6th grade math, this is where we experienced our decline. Math is our area of emphasis this year, but we are pleased to say we are still above that state average. 7th grade math, another increase in scores. And finally, 8th grade math, another increase in scores. So we are really pleased with having now 2 years worth of data so that we have a comparison to make, and we've left behind that baseline data, and we are working now to make sure that we are putting together goals to address how we're going to account for every student growing. So what are our initiatives at Clifton? There are 5. We are emphasizing productive student collaboration in every class so that students are doing more of the talking and teachers are doing less. Rigorous lessons, no matter what subject area. Higher order questioning, and we've had a lot of work being done regarding that, and depth of knowledge is what we refer to, so that we are making sure that we're not focusing on recall questions with students. Data walls, so that students are responsible for assessing their own learning and being recognized for their efforts, not just for high scores, but also for making gains. And then learning and language objectives visible in all classrooms, so students understand the what and the how of what they're learning on a daily basis. So when we look at replicable practices at Clifton, we feel that there are 4 areas that can be talked about for quite a long time. I won't do that this evening with such a short presentation, but the first of those being our Cub Academy. Our Cub Academy is our 7th period offering, offered 4 days a week, that allows us to embed a response to intervention support for students in need of extra math and English help, and that's tiered. So we have low levels of support all the way through intensive levels of support based on student need. And for students who don't require the extra response to intervention, we allow them to pick a second enrichment. So essentially they're getting a second elective, and those offerings are very widely ranged. And this entire Cub Academy program has been teacher driven, and we're very proud of the work that's happened with that. This is our 2nd year with Cub Academy. Another program that we're very proud of is our Renaissance Leadership Program. The students on our campus, are very devoted to making sure that they are getting students connected. And their motto is, leave no cub behind. So they are really getting out there to find our ghost kids, getting them connected in some way so that they find somewhere on that campus as their niche, so that they're happy and proud to come to school at Clifton. Our Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. This is our program where we place emphasis on teaching our school-wide behavior expectations, rewarding what we notice, and at the same time holding students accountable should they not meet those expectations. We have a big team on campus of teachers and non-teachers who comprise our PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Support Committee, who are the decision makers surrounding this process. And finally, our co-teach and pushing classes. This is where we have students with IEPs placed in least restrictive environments in the general education classes with additional support from our special education department so that they can become successful at the same level of rigor as students who are not on IEPs. So the difference between a co-teach and a push-in, a co-teach is 2 teachers planning together and teaching simultaneously together. A push-in is a general education teacher who is teaching the course, and the special education staff is supporting the students in the room who need the extra help. So there is a difference between the two. Things to note, we have something very special happening tomorrow. We have our Schools to Watch visit at Clifton that we are very, very excited about. We also, last week, submitted our intent to apply for our gold ribbon status. We're in the process of working on that. And then the launch of our STEM program, with being the recipient of the $100,000 grant last year, we are now in the process of putting those plans together. The orders have been submitted. The room renovation will begin this year with an official launch next school year in 2017. We want to thank you for allowing us to come and share. And do you have any questions?
Any questions?
No, but I would like to thank you for your hospitality when we came over to your school last week, and just say it was a great job by everyone involved over there. Thanks so much to your staff for putting this together.
Thank you.
I'd like to echo that. Thank you to the staff and to the students who, when we walk into a classroom, they keep on track while we're in there, and we can get a pretty good feel for what happens in a day-to-day goings on in the classroom. So thanks to the students as well.
Thank you.
And to close, I'd like to thank you and ask that you thank your mother for the wonderful pumpkin bread.
I will do that.
Thank you. Continuing with my report, I would like to announce that on October 20th at 10:20 in the morning will be our California Great Shakeout, where every school in the district will participate in an earthquake drill of some sort, an emergency drill. We also have some wonderful news about Wild Rose Elementary School becoming a Golden Bell winner with a signature practice with Team Bruins. Mr. Ray Alarcon, who has been recognized here for his good work with students at Wild Rose Elementary School, is really the person to thank for this signature practice. And we will be in San Francisco appreciating his results. He and his wife, I believe, will be joining us.
After we receive the bell and we present it, I think it's only right and fitting that we redo part of that program that we had for video so folks can see it again. It's truly an amazing, what Ray has done with the students there over the years is a testimony to how one human being can make a difference. One of the students that he had, who is now in college, was a part of the application process, talking about what his dealing with Ray meant to him as a young boy who did not have a father figure at home. It was truly moving, and it just shows the dedication that Ray has to not only his school, but to the students at that school. He truly makes that big of a difference. So I'm really, really happy that we're getting that golden bell, because other school districts throughout California now will be able to see the power of one individual. And I think the most amazing thing about it is that one individual is the custodian at the school. It's great, fantastic.
Well said.
Up next, we have public comments for items that are not on the agenda. Simply fill out a speaker card and you shall be heard. Do we have any speakers?
Board President, we have one request to speak from Susan Hirsch.
Good evening, Board, Cabinet. I'm pleased to bring you a report from the Community Services. You may have noticed around town some major street work has begun this month. This is to repair our aging infrastructure across the city, and you can hear about the locations, timelines, and other information that may affect your neighborhood at Monroe Elementary School on Wednesday, October 19th at 6:30 p.m. The next items are a lot more fun than road work. The activities at our Monrovia Public Library for children and youth include tomorrow after school from 3:30 to 4:30, a Percy Jackson Heroes and Olympians party. And then on October 21st from 5 to 9 p.m., our teens get to experience a horror film series where they will be able to figure out if it's a classic horror film or a camp horror film. And as Dr. Tarosian said, we have our 26th annual Make a Difference Day at Library Park. Is the kickoff on Saturday, October 22nd. That'll be from 8 to 12 p.m. with over 25 projects that people can sign up and go help. So lots of projects for us to volunteer around our community. Also this month is the 53rd annual Celebrate the Arts Show and Chalk Fest, put on by the Monrovia Association of Fine Arts. That will take place on Saturday, October 29th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, October 30th from 10 to 4. The theme this year is Art in Motion. And lastly, but maybe the most fun, will be the Old Town Trick or Treat and Halloween Bash on Monday, October 31st from 3 to 6 p.m. Lots of activities in Library Park, including a costume contest. And then following the trick-or-treat on Myrtle Avenue, families can go and trick-or-treat at Canyon Park from 6 to 8 p.m., hosted by our park rangers in festive costumes. So I hope that you all can join us for some of those fun events. Thank you for this opportunity to share these activities around the city.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Anyone else wishing to speak to the board on any item that is not on the agenda? Seeing and hearing no one, will close that portion. We'll take up the matter of public comment for items that are on the agenda. Simply fill out a card and you shall be heard. Do we have any speaker cards? Anyone wishing to speak to the board on any item that is on the agenda? Seeing and hearing no one, we'll close that portion and we'll move on to item H1. It's Census Day enrollment, and Ms. Wu, will you please give us a report?
Good evening, Board. October 5th of this year is Census Day, also formerly named California Basic Education Data System is CBAS Day. And that day enrollment become a District 16-17 official enrollment will report to the state. And on that day, Monrovia Unified School District has 5,622 students. Out of this over 5,000 students, 5,402 students are regular education students, 197 students are special ed, and 23 students enroll in a non-public school. Compared with last year's Census Day, we have 216 students less. For the other category, for undue students count, which is driven district supplemental concentration funding, the initial data, our percentage is 58.7%, and this this percentage will be increased because the free reduced meal application will receive the application all year long. When the students submit the application, if they are entitled, we were able to retroactive effectively first day of school. So for the English learner, we have 687 students currently, and last year we have 100 students more. As Principal Jackson mentioned that the district continually identified English learner, so that's one of the reasons why we have less English students compared with last year. For the foster youth and homeless, this year we have 291 students in our district. Compared with last year, which is 218, we have more. The reason more is when the state come up with the local control funding formula, normally the homeless and foster youth students, we get the data directly from county. So when the year goes by, the district will keeping track of the data, and the data is the 291 students, the data is more accurate compared with last year. So as a result of that, we will continue monitor with this percentage because it's crucial to our funding, and we have work with the principal to make sure that the students who are entitled to the free reduced meal will submit application. And we also work with the various department head to come up procedure, make sure that our data is accurate, and we will get all the students in the right category so that the district will funding correctly.
Thank you. Any questions?
I'd just like to make an observation, which I didn't notice the first time through, but if you notice the difference in free and reduced price meal students, we're down 250 students, free and reduced, and you know, it's just, I think, indicative. People say, why are we have so many less? And it's indicative of the housing prices and cost of living in Monrovia going up. 250 less free and reduced students is a significant number of folks that probably can't afford to live here anymore. So just an interesting number.
I agree. Any other questions, comments? Entertain a motion for consent.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Maybe please have a vote.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Up next, we're having J1, Dr. Kaiser.
Good evening, Board. Tonight, we're calling for a public hearing and resolution on the sufficiency of textbooks or instructional materials. Each year, due to the Williams settlement, the Board is asked to have a hearing regarding the sufficiency of textbooks in our district. And I'm happy to say that textbooks have been counted and that we are sufficient. There is a textbook for every student in our district.
Any questions? This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak against? Seeing and hearing no one, we'll close that portion, and I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion. Maybe please have a roll call vote.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Up next, J2, Dr. Kaiser.
J2 has to do with the adoption of the educator effectiveness plan that we held a hearing on in our last meeting. And we're asking to have this educator effectiveness plan program plan adopted at this board meeting. The professional development plan covers 4 areas. One is our BITSA program, the beginning teacher and administrator support and mentoring, the professional development coaching and support services for teachers that are needing additional support and improvement. And the third one is professional development for teachers and administrators that are aligned to the state standards. And number 4, to promote educator quality and effectiveness. The budget that we have prepared covers 4 areas for our district. One is coaching for our secondary math teachers. Our second item is funding the BITSA program. Our third area is the SWAN math coaching program for our elementary schools, and then covering a portion of the Focus Schools contract that deals with training administrators and leadership teams in our district.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
J3, Dr. Kaiser.
Yes, tonight we're asking for an agreement between the University of California Graduate School of Education and Monrovia Unified School District for the 2016 and 17 school year to be ratified and approved. What this agreement does is we would like to enter into an agreement with UC Riverside that would provide 4 advanced graduate student consultants to provide district staff training, system behavior supports through modeling and guidance, individual positive behavior supports for students and psychologist support for assessments, and to have observations and data collection. This understanding would allow our district to receive a contract that would cover 2,400 hours of service to the district, and the estimated cost of this contract is $150,000 that would be covered by the mental health grant, so of no cost to the district, receiving services of 4 advanced graduate students.
Any questions? I had to have one. Have we had this before ever?
No, this is new.
Who found this?
Kitty Louie did.
Very
the
good.
special ed director.
Very good. Entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Up next, J4, Human Resources. Dr. Jackson.
Board President Hammond, the Board of Education is requested to receive and present for public review the joint initial proposal of topics for modification of the current California School Employees Association, also known as CSEA, and District Collective Bargaining Agreement, and to reserve time at its next regularly scheduled meeting on October 26, 2016 for public input on the proposal. The initial proposal of topics to be discussed in negotiations during the 16-17 school year was jointly developed by CSEA and the district negotiating teams. And I'd like to highlight the district has already spent significant time considering item E, offering a retirement incentive at the conclusion of the 16-17 school year in an effort to potentially realize a fiscal savings to the district. This is based on the retirement resignation of those CSEA members higher on the salary schedule and reserving the ability to replace positions at a lower salary based on district needs. The board will hold a special meeting on October 19th to take action on this particular topic.
Any questions? Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Please have.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Wong,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board President Hammond.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Dr. Jackson, item 5.
Following suit with CSEA and negotiable topics, the Board of Education is requested to receive and present for public review the joint initial proposal of topics for modification of the current Monrovia Teachers Association, also known as MTA, and District Collective Bargaining Agreement, and to reserve time at its next regularly scheduled meeting on October 26, 2016, for public input on the proposal. The initial proposal of topics to be discussed in negotiations during the 2016-2017 school year was jointly developed by MTA and district negotiating teams, and also highlighting the fact that the district is considering item E for MTA and offering a retirement incentive at the conclusion of the 16-17 school year. The board will hold a special meeting on October 19th to take action on this particular topic.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Wong,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board President Hammond.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Dr. Terosian, board, pending board issues.
We are working through the regularly scheduled list in the cycle. There's no new information here.
We have been really busy around here, so I appreciate the just keeping it moving. Our next regularly scheduled board meetings will be here in the boardroom on October the 26th at 7 p.m., followed on Wednesday, November the 9th at 7 p.m., and November the 16th.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
As Dr. Jackson just mentioned, we had discussed having a special board meeting on October the 19th, and we talked about scheduling that for 10 a.m. I think that Mr. Williams and myself both have a little tightness in our schedule. Would it be possible to hold that meeting at 11 a.m. instead of 10?
I don't believe there would be an issue having it in the morning instead.
I won't be able to be there at all. I'll be out from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Hollywood, so I won't be here.
Are you okay if we move forward on it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Going back to, just for clarification for the viewers, there is an issue at hand that we've had a couple of meetings on already, and that is possibly offering an early retirement to some dedicated teachers and workers in our school district, that if it realizes a significant savings to the school district, it might make sense to offer a benefit package to do that. It has to meet some very tight guidelines and time frames that have to be hit, and that would be the purpose of having a special meeting at an odd time as 11 o'clock in the morning, so that could facilitate making sure that we hit those timelines. So with that's fine. I think 11 a.m. is fine.
What was the date again?
That'd be the 19th. Okay. This Friday, we have a boardwalk where we'll be visiting the campus and the school, and classrooms at MHS. This is the formal warning that we're coming. Next, on December the 9th, we'll also have a boardwalk at Canyon High School Mountain Park. They have lots of advance notice. Upcoming events are Schools to Watch visit Thursday, October the 13th. Assemblyman Chris Holden will be here at the Monrovia Unified School District on the 19th as well. There's the 51st Annual Community Prayer Breakfast. That's Friday, November the 18th. That's the Friday prior to Thanksgiving. And the Monrovia Duarte Black Alumni Association is having their Black and White Gala event on Saturday the 19th. San Antonio YMCA 8th Annual Gala will be on Saturday, November the 19th. We will be going into closed session to discuss personnel issues, and at the conclusion of that, we'll then adjourn the meeting.